August 2nd. Lane and I are working on getting a couple setups in for him. This one here is kind of long awaited one I picked out after we did the timber stand improvement and got some trails in front. I just hung a scrape over there. Lane's just getting kind of the bottom stuff trimmed out here. I'm getting ready to go up and we'll get it set up, but I'm gonna get in and get out on this setup, and I'll come back with a brush hog and mow a trail right through here. There's kind of edges and intersections. Got a creek coming together, timber stand improvement, 2 other trails that come in right here too. So should be a great rut setup. Slip in the back door. We're just cleaning a spot that comes through a ditch. Should be really good. All right, it's August 9th. We just had a nice shower this morning. This is a smaller soybean plot that I planted into an existing grass stand, so didn't do a lot with it. You can tell it is getting absolutely pounded though by the deer. So I'm coming in today. It's a little bit early for, normal fall plantings, but I'm gonna go and do a lot of brassica stuff today. Starting off here, this is kind of the Northwoods Sweet Feast. I'm real excited to try this, but hopefully take some of the browse pressure off these beans. I'm gonna just top dress into it. Go a little bit lighter than the recommended, but it's also, no-till, so I'll probably use, it's a 3-pound here, little 1/4 acre plot, probably about half a bag. I'm gonna kind of test these out. Got some other cheaper stuff, shipping's kind of a problem right now. We're gonna do some micro plots today and hopefully do a little bit of a comparison on that, but excited. We've had good moisture, good rain coming, so I wanted to get this done. And these beans are still, they were planted later, so they've got some ability to grow some more, but man, they're getting pounded. So just small enough, you can have some browse pressure like this, but I got another bigger plot back further that's doing a lot better. So it'll have pods. It'll be a decent late season. Hopefully some of it'll last, but this will make sure of it. Well, I'm in some spots where I normally gauge the acorn crop and also have some chinkapins that are growing kind of close together. This is where I find these spots where I can go to that aren't disturbing too much, and I can just continually get scrape branches. That's what I'm doing here. So these are perfect. You get these little shoots and kind of small enough. These are perfect to kind of just bring in. Got my rubber gloves. I just don't take a chance. You see people that, oh, it doesn't matter. Your human scent's gonna wear away, no big deal. I don't like to take chances with mature deer, anything like that that's associating with hunting. This is the time you transition. Here we are. Yeah, it's August 9th, so we got some time, but this is the common theme. You see me doing this stuff all summer. I'm not saying it has to be done like this, but it's consistency, I think, seems to work the best for my method of scrape hunting and preparing places. So I lost my silky. This thing's terrible. I gotta try to backtrack my steps from last weekend. I enjoy every bit of it, so don't think for a minute it's definitely my therapy. So I'm gonna get after it here and getting a few of these stacked up, take different places today. It's muggy, but man, it's gonna be good here with these rains coming. Well, this is right along the edge of a clover chicory plot that I'm gonna probably mow one more time. Like I said, today is the perfect day to come in and top dress these brassicas. Got the north half of this plot is actually all soybeans. It's doing really good. But yeah, you can see there's issues with planting methods, and you got a couple little gaps, but that's okay. This will fill in nicely. Got some rain actually today, which is nice. Got nice and cool. I'm gonna knock this out while I can, and I think it's going to be really good. But you can see behind me all this TSI work and the young growth. Right here, that crop duster, he's out spraying. But yeah, there's a lot of open canopy now, and a lot of young oaks coming up in this little section. But it's always rewarding seeing that and realizing that's where the browse is at. It's so dense, and obviously this is a good little candy store stop. And I'm going to go ahead and get this scrape fixed as well while I'm here. I've got kind of a double setup right here. That's from last year. So just kind of multiplying your different factors This one's had its use. I'm gonna have to work the ground here a little bit. These are the perfect oaks here to kind of pick from. Fire did top kill, but you can see we've got some really good starts right here. So I'm going to eliminate these smaller ones around it, pick out the best one, has a good leader, and you know, fire's going to manage some of this stuff, and it's doing a great job. Look at all this browse. I mean, you're gonna sacrifice a few good oaks, but there's so many more coming. Well, just like that other plot, this one's getting hammered, but that's where I'm coming back in here with this Sweet Feast. This is that Northwoods brassica blend I'm excited to try. It's gonna fill in the gaps nicely, but like I said, these beans still have quite a bit left to grow, and if the pressure can come off these deer a little bit with something else, I think we're gonna have a good late season crop here. But you know, it takes some work doing some of these, but actually have those strips planted along the edge of this. That's actually intended for switchgrass here. I'm going to be frost seeding in for next spring, and that'll help kind of entry exit, that kind of thing, just breaking this plot up. I'm actually dropping this big old tree. It's kind of just robbing a lot of stuff from my other tree plantings. It's dying slowly, but I'm going to tip it back in a way to make this kind of condense down right here and plant some switch kind of in a perpendicular fashion across it to break this plot up so it's not quite so big. It's more of a longer plot. It used to be a lot bigger than this, so just excited to see this one come through. Those will be a good year, hopefully. We've got some really good looking young bucks coming up, and they're just starting, you know, on all this TSI work and stuff. So I still think we're a couple years away from, you know, really producing something, but a couple good mature bucks I think Lane will have to go after. Alright, made my way back on that micro plot I sprayed last weekend for last time. It's got just some little pockets that I sprayed out. It's right on the edge of a bean field and a cornfield behind, so it's going to be kind of an evening little staging area. But I've actually had some bucks on this scrape here. A couple of really good looking young bucks, but nothing major yet. That's alright. Stands right up there. This is like, I don't even know, maybe 1/8 of an acre plot, but getting ready to go in here with, this is actually domain. I'm actually kind of impressed with what they've got on basically the layout of it. Winter oats, red clover, rape, radish, balanza, which is an annual clover, and a chicory. So I'll be able to come in and frost seed this. I want to eventually just get it to where I can come in and kind of weed eat it down and keep some clover chicory in it. And you know, obviously rotate like I like to, but there's some pretty good little products here for not having to ship. You can pick them up pretty reasonable, so perfect for this size of plot and not really getting equipment in here. Could probably come in and weed eat, you know, some thatch on top, but I think it'll just decay right on. It'll be good. Needed to adjust this cell cam too. I noticed it was pointed a little bit off, so I'm gonna kind of adjust that real quick also. Okay, this is kind of another little bit of a micro plot I got Roundup brought in today. I'm getting ready to spray. just some brome and some stuff that I think I'm going to be able to maintain with just some clover in the future. But got a big setup right in here that I slip in kind of in the back door of this. But it's a connector from crop field to basically crop field, right in between two pockets of CRP. I'm going to put a couple mock scrapes. I'm going to add one to these. These hedge limbs are pretty indestructible, but right here would be a 20-yard shot to that stand. You can see it's a little bit washed out, but I'll extend an oak across that. Maybe that one up there. And then I've got one from last year over there that I'll replace, but I'm gonna get this sprayed right now and top dress that with some of that domain. Actually, there's one of my old scrapes right there. The nice thing about the zip ties, I can just cut them off and bring those with, and it's not leaving a bunch of wire out here. Anyway, get the ground worked here. Once I get those attached, I'll try to show that process here. So that one's a bit low, but that's why I kind of leave them that have multiple, like up higher. So I don't know exactly how far up this hedge is going to go once the leaves drop and the hedge apples. So it may lift a little, but then I can always come back in with the clippers when I come to freshen the scrapes. But got all this killed now. I got to work the ground and going to doctor it up here with some, get the forehead gland to get them kind of visibly seeing this, plus coming in and getting some of that preorbital. And this is kind of the key to getting them going. Let them take it over, then you kind of gradually work it up as we get closer to the rut here. I'm gonna put this one up kind of right in here, similar area. I got a good branch coming down with a nice bare spot here. Actually, I could probably go off of that one right there. And you're still gonna leave a little bit of scent, but set them in here before rain. There we go, right there. I like that. I throw usually, sometimes depending on the branch. This one's really scared. It's got some Ys, so a couple of these will be just fine. They'll degrade and weather away in case you forget them, but I still try to cut them out of here. I don't like leaving anything like that. That's one thing. Treat these properties like it's your own, and part of why I use these zip ties instead of wire. That's perfect height right there. I don't see this one going up a whole lot. It's gonna be perfect. I'll obviously still got to work the ground and do all that, but I'm gonna go ahead and get the upper leaves treated. These will dry down and start rustling, and I am pretty confident. That's at least what I feel like. It drives them nuts, and big bucks love to get in there and work it. They hear that, they get their preorbitals working in there, and this will last all year, get nice and green, and they just kind of weather it. It'll last for sure a full season. Well, down here on the 20-acre transformation, I got a good kill on that stuff, and I tried to plant some buckwheat. I've got it in here, but it's just small. You know, so maybe it's doing something at the root level, but I knew I was gonna be behind it this year. But checking out the water tank just kind of smoothed it out a little, but threw up another mulch cam here over the water. We've got some good rain coming. It was actually kind of washing around, so I packed it in there again. Hopefully we'll get some runoff. I'm gonna hold off on spraying this plot, kind of let that keep growing for a couple weeks. But I'm up here, I'm gonna plant some brassicas on one portion kind of further in, this tree stand right here, I've got to cut some limbs off of this cedar, and then I brought down, there's no oaks on this, so I brought, I think, 5 oak limbs. You can see they're kind of, leaves are dying a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and get those set, and we'll get them kind of, this is gonna be more of a cereal grain type plot here. I think it's gonna be really good though, because I can see where they're eating on that buckwheat already. I mean, there's not a lot of actually row crop and stuff down here, but there's some. I think they're summering on, they'll shift in here, but we'll see. It's gonna be fun. So cedars work, but like I said, this rustling leaves, when they dry down, I'm gonna get this opened up here next and get some buck fever on it. But it's gonna be a little bit of a chip shot right there. I'm hoping that'll be enough of an extra draw, kind of a nice meandering plot here, good side cover. I'm gonna jump on the mower and get all my trails that are kind of interconnecting done. That way I can come back with just the sprayer, cultipacker. May drop in some more brassicas maybe in this little corner, but I can hand spray some of this. Kind of a good little transition, but either way that makes for a nice short shot here. Got the stand. Come into that mock scrape, get them a drink, and connect the dots here. But yeah, I might cut some more, set another stand or a ground blind on the far end down here. A couple different winds, but first year, just kind of want to get a good inventory. This little pinch right here is going to be, you know, nice green plot here after a while, but what I want to do here, because I got a bunch of locusts right here, just nothing real good. These kind of can work for mock scrapes. But I'm actually gonna, that stand is right over there. There's the water tank. Pretty good trail right here that a buck could come in and, you know, avoid that water and just head into where I'm gonna have more food. I'm gonna tip this thing up, but I can secure this if you look at that. So I can set the height right here. Got a little wedge. With this old shed I'm still gonna take out, but I will zip tie this to where that angle is perfect right there. Another high odds shot. Money. I'll be back in here spraying this plot when I plant, so I'll spray that and try to keep seed out of it. But either way, they'll keep it worked up. I'll refreshen it. Again, it's a nice little chip shot. I'm kind of getting monotonous with these. I'm going to do about, I think I got 3 more limbs, but we'll show you after we get one on the ground, maybe show you the devastation after they start using them. This is where the junkyard was. That's going to be a small plot right here. Not too far from that other stand, but basically going to tie this all together. There's kind of another line that I've got. I'm going to have some clover and chicory trails. Mulberry bushes out here I kind of left, give them some cover. Still got cans. This guy was a hoarder, scrapper. I got to come back and spray, and this will all be kind of a cereal grain, more of a Northwoods whitetail, more of an into August, 1st of September. We'll see what the range, but we've been in awesome moisture patterns, so including tomorrow. So I'm gonna go spread some brassica up there and maybe along some of the trails where I'm gonna have the clover, but I'll have to hand spray it ahead of it because I won't be able to come back with the boom sprayer if I get some brassicas in. Like I said, I just sprayed that little corner, sprayed some of those grasses kind of ahead of time, a couple weeks early. I'll spray them again when I plant. That little cove right there, it holds water and it's shaded. I'm gonna throw some brassicas in there and head up and get that last one planted. I use this smaller spreader because for clover it's so fine, or clover and brassicas, stuff like that, the turnips, radishes. Radishes are a little bit bigger, but mostly like that smaller seed. It's just so much easier. I'll take more time and go around it, but
That's the way to go, and you don't want to go too thick. It happens easy. You'd be better off just going a couple passes if you have to. That right there is going to be a good little ground blind, maybe a future ladder stand. But kind of connecting all this, I feel like it's been a super productive summer. This has been a kind of a reclamation, trying to take back some of this pasture, but at the same time it's getting that perfect growth. Got a lot of good stuff coming up, a lot of dogwood stuff, which I actually just jumped a couple deer in there. But getting ready to top dress this. This is going to be some of the sweet feast. It's what I've got left on the day. Been knocking a bunch of them out. Big rain coming tomorrow. Just sprayed this. It's a little micro plot, and it's going to feed, kind of connect two of them here, two longer sections on this 20-acre piece. But really, it's set up perfect for access and kind of giving this plot to the deer for the most part, until we possibly get a stand in there. But they're all going to connect. It's going to be clover in here. I'm going to do clover on the trails, burn breaks. I got several burn breaks where I'll be able to go in different frequency, based on keeping the cedars at bay. But then I also like some of them for the cover too. But pretty warm. Got a cool front coming with that rain. I better get this seed down. Woo, that's how fast you gotta go. I knew how much seed I had left, knew the speed I needed. A lot of times it ends up being running. Same thing with clover. This has got a little bit of green in it. The rye and oats, obviously it's a little bit early, but I'm gonna put a little bit on top of this just since I can't come back and spray this. I'm gonna put clover in here though on top, so that way if it's a little bit slower getting down there to the base, and I can always go over the top. But I'd rather have a little bit of extra cover here, being that I've got a lot of thatch on the ground still. Didn't get the buckwheat up as high as I wanted, and starting fresh. Well, it's late in the day. Almost hate to admit this one. It's kind of funny now that I've got at least a branch left. But got the chainsaw out trying to get me a visibility lane down here, just for sight on this plot or a future plot. Basically from that stand on down that way. These cedars make it tough, so I wanted to cut some uppers while I'm coming down. I'm like, oh, that one needs to go, that one needs to go, that one. And I knew where my scrape branch was initially, and the very last one, well, it's underneath here, but yeah. So now I got to improvise and redo my scrape. It's going to go on the other side of the water tank. That's really the only option I've got. I'm going to lay one across there. Still going to be, you know, a good shot, but dang, that's just how things go when you get tired, you get delirious. And this cedar probably needs to go eventually anyway, but I'm trying to keep that thick cover on the entrance for the access, so I'm keeping the other side full. But I'll get this cleaned up, get this water hole ready, and we'll bring in some more water too next couple weeks. One of my favorite oaks right here. Spot where I'm fighting it with the mower, but I can easily remove these and have plenty to set up for mock scrapes. Perfect. Well, it's a perfect morning, rainy, August 10th. It's when I like to get a lot of stuff set. I'm gonna move a cell cam in here. I'm kind of debating. I need a little bit of opening, which I've got right here, to get some good sun. That's the only thing you got to kind of consider a little bit with them, but this is perfect because I've got, this is kind of that part that I built this, what I call the tunnel. It's a good setup, but
I've got mock scrapes all up and down it, but I really don't have anything on this end, and I won't need to come in here and check the card, obviously, so this hedge right here lays out perfect. I'm gonna use this older, kind of a dead looking tree. It might be a little bit of a gamble, but they actually funnel right down through this, so right into the heart of the bedding area, and that's where you want cameras like this. So I'm in here early, gonna get this set, adjust that tree stand a little bit, and we'll be good to go. But this is the time of year you need to do it, and these conditions are ideal. Trying to get rid of some of this foxtail, just some extra stuff that camera can pick up on. Just kind of a good idea. So without diving into it every time, you can kind of see this little corridor that I created. Ends up being a lot of work, but it's perfect when it's raining like this. It's a good time to get in here, obviously for the scent reasons. So early, it's gonna be more for visible right now, but this kind of lines them right in here where I've had a couple of great sits over the years. I'm just giving them plenty of options where I want them, and I've even eliminated some limbs along it on the other routes that I really don't want them taken, but this leads them on down. That camera I just sets it probably 50, 70 yards over there, so even if Big Boy starts skirting the camera for some reason, he's not going to skirt this. Well, last weekend was a big old gash on my forehead. This week it just got a fat lip, I think. That's what happens when you have a replacement. My silky saw is so much better than this old junker. I was trying to cut this dead piece off here, and it broke free, and somehow the end popped me. But always something. Getting the new toys out. It's always good to fumble around here before season starts. Got all kinds of stuff going on. That's what the summer's about. Just kind of prepping, and between that, you know, I do a lot of gardening, different things. I actually canned some venison the other day, just free up some freezer space, and just got this new camera arm, this Elevate clutch. Put a new head. Actually, I got a new fluid head, a little bit more compact. Nice little, I don't know, Amazon purchase that you know, downsized my other, and just getting out here trying to figure it out, all the buckling and all that kind of stuff, silence and a few things. Going to try to make it a little bit more user friendly in the field, but I can see a few modifications I can make. But overall, really strong, solid camera arm. The Clutch Pro from Elevate, really nice. I'm gonna be excited to get that out and put it to use.